Charming, intelligent, and outwardly normal, Ted Bundy was everything you'd never expect from a serial killer. But beneath the polished exterior lay a dark, twisted mind that haunted America. Bundy's story isn't just about his gruesome crimes. It's a window into the mind of one of history's most enigmatic killers. A man who, for years, deceived everyone around him while leading a double life filled with horrific secrets. How could someone so outwardly captivating commit such unthinkable acts? And what can we learn from his descent into darkness? Join us as we delve into Bundy's childhood, his relationships, his mind, and the twisted path that led to his infamous downfall. This is more than a true crime story. It's an exploration of human psychology, manipulation, and the dangerous allure of charm gone wrong. Stay tuned as we reveal the chilling realities that continue to make Ted Bundy one of the most notorious figures in criminal history.
Raised by my grandparents, I believed my mother was my sister. It was confusing, to say the least.
Discipline and control were my ways. I didn't tolerate disobedience. The boy had to learn.
Bundy's early years were deeply impacted by secrecy and familial deception. Raised by his grandparents with the belief that his mother was his sister, Bundy's understanding of his identity and family was distorted, potentially fueling his later distrust and betrayal issues. His grandfather, Samuel Cowell, was described as abusive and controlling, adding a layer of trauma that may have shaped Bundy's developing psyche. The lack of healthy emotional bonds and exposure to potentially violent role models in his formative years likely influenced his interpersonal difficulties later in life. Bundy demonstrated academic potential, showing a keen interest in psychology, but his academic path was inconsistent. Although capable in areas that intrigued him, he displayed a pattern of starting and abandoning pursuits, which may suggest issues with long-term planning, impulse control, or a need for immediate gratification. His shift from psychology to law may have been driven by a desire for power or status, rather than genuine career aspirations, as his academic performance suffered once he began his killing spree. This inconsistency highlights his challenges with commitment and indicates underlying restlessness and instability. Socially, Bundy presented a mask of charm and intelligence, often using these traits to manipulate others.
My charm was, well, more of a tool than a trait. It was all about control.
His relationships, particularly with women, were characterized by superficiality, control, and a lack of genuine connection.
Ted's fixation on me was intense, almost obsessive. It wasn't love, it was something darker.
His intense fixation on his ex-girlfriend Stephanie Brooks, coupled with his manipulative romantic interactions afterward, reflects an unhealthy attachment style.
I could mimic affection and empathy, but it was all for control and validation.
Although capable of mimicking affection and empathy, Bundy's primary relational motives were control and validation, often to the detriment of those around him. His social engagements ultimately were strategic, serving his desires rather than forming mutual or supportive relationships. Bundy exhibited classic traits of antisocial personality disorder and psychopathy, marked by a lack of remorse, manipulative behavior, and disregard for the safety and autonomy of others.
Ted's ability to maintain a charming exterior while harboring violent tendencies underscores his skill in deception.
His calculated murders, ability to compartmentalize, and repetitive use of similar methods suggest a predatory mindset, viewing people as means to his ends.
His criminal versatility, which included various forms of deception, escapes from custody, and altered appearances, further demonstrates his impulsivity, high intelligence, and severe personality dysfunction.
Although Bundy showed moments of professional potential, particularly in law and psychology, his inability to remain consistent undermined his vocational stability. His initial foray into law may have been motivated by a desire to manipulate legal systems, as he represented himself in court with some success. His life was marred by periods of unemployment and underemployment, suggesting a difficulty in maintaining conventional roles or adhering to societal expectations, further complicated by his criminal activities. Bundy's criminal behavior was marked by meticulous planning, repeated attempts to evade capture, and a disturbing lack of remorse for his victims. He manipulated legal systems and even managed brief escapes using his intelligence to circumvent authority. His criminal history reflects an escalation in violent tendencies, and his ability to compartmentalize this side of his life allowed him to evade detection for years. Even after multiple incarcerations, his determination to continue his behavior, as shown by his escape attempts, highlights his persistent antisocial motivations and disregard for consequences. Ted Bundy's life encapsulates profound disturbances across multiple areas of functioning. Early family trauma, academic inconsistency, manipulative social interactions, severe personality dysfunction, and escalating criminality collectively illustrate a man with deep-seated psychological impairments. Bundy's case remains a focal point in discussions of psychopathy, serving as a chilling example of how unresolved early trauma, coupled with personality disorders, can manifest in extreme violence and manipulation. His functioning was superficially adept, but ultimately destabilized by his internal compulsions and lack of empathy, driving him down a path of destruction that defied conventional human behavior. Ted Bundy's story leaves us with unsettling questions. How many others might walk among us, hiding their darkest selves behind a mask of charm and normalcy? What does his story reveal about the depths of human deception and our own vulnerability to it? Understanding Bundy isn't just about understanding one man. It's about learning to recognize the warning signs of manipulation, control, and violence. Bundy may be gone, but the lessons from his life and his crimes continue to resonate today. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more explorations into the minds behind history's darkest figures, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest content. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think drives someone to such extremes?